Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at innocent questions that crush someone inside. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. When I was 13, my mum got a divorce from a man who I can only refer to as Step Monster. I worked all summer to save up money since we didn't have a lot, and I was worried we wouldn't have enough to pay the bills. I ended up having a few dollars left over and wanted to buy my mum a gift, and she mentioned she needed a new watch for her birthday. I went to the jeweler and got a $100 gold Citizen Evo Drive watch. It was functional and it looked really nice. When I gave it to her, her first response was, "Thanks honey, did it come in silver?" I was crushed. Insult to injury, she started dating a guy around the same time and he bought her a crappy silver watch. She ended up wearing his over mine. 18 years later and it still hurts when I think about it. Oh, that's so sad when you put so much thought into a gift but then it's not appreciated. You know what I mean? Especially not by your mom. How dare she? Really, your kid bought you something because they were thinking about you and this is what you say? When will we dig up dad? Asked by my almost 5-year-old son. He's never met him as dad died 3 months before birth. This goes along the question, when will dad stop being dead? It's the saddest because in their heart they just feel like the dad is still alive and they just don't understand the concept of being dead, you know? Obviously not because they're so young. A friend looked at me and said, "I know we've talked about it before, but how did you break your nose?" I've never broken my nose. This is just how it looks. Rude. What a rude friend. How rude. Not a question, but my 8-year-old niece once remarked, "You don't laugh anymore." Oh. When a kid notices that, that's when it's real, you know. How does a kid notice these things? But I feel like adults don't even notice it much. I worked in retail when I was younger and people would always be like, "Oh, do you have any ideas for Father's Day? What'd you get your dad?" My dad died when I was 16. Innocent questions like these will always hurt no matter what. When me and my dad and my sister were driving to another town to get away from my mum so we could eat without getting yelled at, stuff thrown at us, my sister asked why mummy was so mean, and my dad had to simplify to her level that her mum was an alcoholic. She was 6. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, it's so hard to tell kids these kind of things, you know, because they won't understand it until they grow older. Co-worker innocently asked, "Who does the cooking at your house?" I had very recently separated from my wife and was living alone. Oh no. You can't blame anyone for these kind of innocent questions because they don't know what's going on with your life. Unless they knew and they still asked the question, that's messed up. I went to get a haircut for my fiance's funeral. It was Friday. He died on Tuesday. My stylist, all bubbly, said, "It's been a while. The last time I saw you, you were just about to move in with your boyfriend. How's it going?" The word stuck and I kind of just rasped it out. Honestly though, her reaction was so wonderful. She was behind me and just put her hands firmly on my shoulders and looked me in the eyes in the mirror. No shock, no stupid platitudes, just silent, genuine empathy. The rest of the haircut was pretty quiet, but she did everything so lovingly and didn't make a big deal out of it when I cried a little. I feel like that's the best. Just empathizing with someone. Why don't you ever go out? Well, because I don't have anyone to go out with. Oh. How's your brother doing? Haven't seen him in a little while. He passed away 2 years ago. That wasn't very fun. Oh, I feel like it's so hard for the person to tell someone that, you know, because sometimes you don't want to tell people these kind of things because it makes them feel bad. What's on her face, mum? Little girl. I used to be a cashier and had terrible acne at the time. Oh my goodness. Last week, my son's therapist asked me how I was holding up with everything that has been happening and if I was remembering to take time to care for myself while I was working on helping my son. I imagine she was thinking I would have just given her my usual, "Oh, I am plugging along" response. Instead, I broke down and started sobbing and word vomited how bad stuff is and how selfish I feel like for having the audacity to feel so bad when my son is having such a bad time. Not my very best moment. I feel like some people just need to talk it out to someone, you know, instead of holding it in and bottling their emotions and always being like, "I'm fine." They need to talk it out to someone. they feel close to kind of thing, or like go to a therapist and talk it out, because that's the best. Sometimes it's the best to just let it all out, you know, because bottling so much inside, one day it's just all gonna spill at the same time. So I feel like it's just best to like spill it here, spill it there, you know, so you empty yourself out more, so when you do spill everything out in the end, it's not as bad. I had no friends in summer school, and a girl asked me if I had any friends, like straight up, do you have any friends? Then became friends with me, but still. Maybe she wanted to be friends with you because she didn't have any friends and you guys could relate, kind of thing. Because if not, then I don't understand why she asked you, do you have any friends? When are you due? I wasn't pregnant. Have since lost over 60 pounds though. Good on you! Wow, that is so amazing. Good on you. I'm so proud of you. That's an amazing achievement. Like honestly, it's so hard to lose weight. That's amazing. Specialist appointment, and they did the normal thing of checking contact details. They asked if the contact number and details for my wife were still correct. I started crying. My wife passed away this time 12 months ago. Surprising how much one simple question asked in total innocence can bring you to your knees. I agree. I feel like innocent questions are always the ones that make you cry when this happens. I always wanted to study psychology in college, but my overbearing mother wouldn't have that, so I studied chemistry. In my last semester, I took an abnormal psychology class just for fun and I crushed it, ending with a 99% average. After the final, my professor took me outside the classroom and said, "Why didn't you major in psychology? You would have made a great psychologist." That really crushed my soul. I think about that day a lot. Well, honestly, I don't think it's ever too late for anything, you know? If you still want to do it, you should just go for it and be happy, right? Because your mom is not living your life. Like, it's even worse because they know they're so good at psychology, but they just can't do it. I mean, they can do it, but they're just not doing it. But I do understand the financial difficulties because courses are very expensive. So maybe that's one thing that's holding them back. What do you see when you look in the mirror each morning? My friend was having some body issues and she asked me this question since I was one of the most confident people she knew. She learned maybe a bit too much that day. Oh, what did she say? I want to know what she said, because like, did she tell her how to be more confident, or did she also confess that she didn't feel too confident? I honestly find it so interesting how you feel like you see someone and they're so perfect and you just want to be them, but then in their own eyes they don't think they look as good as you think they look, right? My recently divorced ex and I worked at the same place. Divorce was not my idea, but he'd found someone new and I was heartbroken. He ended up quitting at her insistence. 6 months after the divorce was final, a co-worker asked how ex-husband was doing. Hadn't seen him since he quit. Behind my back, another co-worker was trying to wave the first co-worker off. Spent the rest of the shift crying on and off. Apparently co-worker 1 was oblivious and didn't know we'd divorced. Just thought ex had quit. It's not even anyone's fault when this kind of thing happens, because it's not like they knew and they were just genuinely curious or wanted to know about your life, but then they didn't know that it would hurt you so bad. When will you get better so you can play with us? My niece, who was too young to understand what disabled meant. She's older now and understands I will never get better. And we have adapted playtime to do things I can handle as well. But that broke my heart. That's so sad. Why do you work in a factory when you have an honor degrees in physics? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so sad, honestly. You study like 5 years for a course and you're not even doing what you studied. That's sad. And all that debt you have. Oh geez. Someone once asked me, don't you want to be a mom? Yes, I do. But as I'm single, over 40 and not rich, that's probably not going to happen, and it devastated me. I had to say, yes, I love that, and then excuse myself to go home and cry. If I'm single by 40 and someone asked me this, I would be like, no, I do not. I love to be single. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. I'll just raise dogs. My mom accidentally called me after about 10 years of not talking. I answered all ready for a serious conversation. When I answered, she was like, wait, who's this? I say, hey mom, it's me. Her reply is what hurt. Who? Why are you calling me mom? She was so drunk she didn't recognize her own daughter's name. Oh, that is sad. How could your mom not recognize your voice though? I'm feeling sad for them. I teach first grade and was talking about how I've been married for 5 years. One student asked, how could you not have a baby by now? Not wanting to explain multiple miscarriages to a classroom of 6-year-olds, I said, being around all of you makes my heart so full that I don't think I have room in my heart for a baby. They all smiled. I smiled too. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!